Hey guys, welcome back to Sister Storytime. And today I have a story for you guys. I might have told this forever ago somewhere. Honestly, maybe like at a concert. I don't know. I feel like I've told this story sometime in the last 10 years, but it's been a long time and I don't know if I've ever really gone in depth on it. So here we are. And this is the story of the first time I ever, my voice just, like I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not gonna cry. The first time I ever stood up for myself. That is this story. So, a little bit of background about me. I never really was a person to stand up for myself growing up. I was very much, I still am, people pleaser. I didn't want conflict. I didn't want to rock the boat. I didn't want anyone to be mad at me. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. So I just kind of like, if I had conflict with my friends, then I kind of just like kept it inside and just was like, oh, it's fine, Kath, don't worry about it, just brush it off. But of course I was hurting on the inside and I usually might even feel kind of passive aggressive or resentful, but I just would never say that because I was too afraid. So when I was 15, yeah, that was the year, it was sophomore year. This was the first time I ever stood up for myself. So let me tell you about my friend group. So I met my best friend group, like it was mainly 4 other girls, but there was other girls that would kind of come in and out. But it was mainly like these 4 girls and me. And like my sisters Lisa and Christina would kind of join. And we had like a group. Like it was a very like cliquey group of girls. We were all best friends. And I became very close with these girls, especially like the leader of the group. We lived in the same neighborhood. So we lived like, we could walk to each other's houses and we met in 7th grade. So I was friends with them from 7th grade throughout sophomore year, basically. And at first in 7th grade, everything was great. We had a good friendship. I got along with them. They got along with me. We had a lot of fun. It was just like a fun group. We did a lot of like really fun things together. And I was especially close to the leader of the group. I'll call her Trisha. So Trisha, the leader of the group, we had a great friendship. We got along, no problems. But then at some point, things changed. And I don't really even know what happened because it happened very like subtly. So like Trisha was really nice to me. Well, there's construction, so if you hear that, there's construction outside. But anyway, Trisha was very nice, good friend for a couple years. But over time, she started to become increasingly more critical of me. And I noticed that like, not just me, but like the other girls in the group too. And she kind of became known as like the leader of the group. So her like attitude and stuff kind of set the tone for everyone else. So Trisha, at some point, I don't know what it was, but like we stopped getting along as well. And she kind of started making fun of me more. And it was like a joke, like, oh, friends, you tease each other, whatever. And some of the other girls in the group would do, we kind of all do this to each other. But it started to get really bad because it became this thing where if one of the girls wasn't there, everyone else would talk about her in a negative way or like gossip about her or like talking about other people became like this really common thing, like just gossiping about all the people that we knew. And I think that's really common in friend groups, especially in high school. But it's really toxic. It's not a good habit. And what it did in our group was it bred this sense of like cattiness and insecurity and all of us just kind of like tearing each other down and like feeling really insecure. And I just remember over, I think I was friends with them for like 5 years. I increasingly got more and more insecure about myself, very afraid to like say something wrong because then everyone would laugh. I feel like the big thing in that group was if you said something like random, they're like, that was random. Like if you say something that's again, different topic than what we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes, like, oh, that's random. So like you couldn't say anything too random because it's just weird. You couldn't be weird. You couldn't be out of the norm. Like you had to be very like socially acceptable, which I don't really care about that in my soul. But I was kind of in this group where that was such a value that I felt bad if I wasn't socially acceptable and like we'd go shopping together, we'd get like, the same types of clothing and it was not good. So me, I'm naturally like a very nonconformist, like individual type of person. And my family's like that too. So I was kind of like a pressure cooker of like being in this group where there was so much conformity and pressure to like be like everyone else that it started kind of like boiling and boiling, boiling. And it started to get even more intense because a couple of the girls, mainly 2 of them, started making fun of me for being Christian, even though they were all Christian technically, but not really. Like they would kind of make fun of me and be like, oh, you're too Christian for that. Oh, you would never do that because you're Christian. So like that was something that was really important to me, and that really bothered me because I was like, what's wrong with me being Christian? Like, why do you care? Just really weird. And there was one year where I finally snapped in this whole friend group. And like, this was honestly terrifying for me, the thought of losing them, because they were my only like good, I mean, I had a couple of other friends, but like I spent every weekend for 5 years with these girls. Every single thing that I did with them. Every holiday that we would celebrate, birthday, like it was with them. That was just like my go-to friends. So the thought of losing them, I basically would lose everything. Like I had a couple of other friends, but like I didn't hang out with them nearly as much as I did with this group. So it was Halloween and I was 15. And something about me is that I've always loved Halloween costumes since I was a little kid. I've loved making my own. I'm very creative. I like to think of an idea and bring it to life. Like I love Halloween costumes, and it's something that I put a lot of pride into, you know, as a kid. I would always make mine, and I won the church's Halloween party 3 years in a row for most creative. So that was like a big accomplishment for me because I put a lot into, like I was a box of Dots candy, and I hand painted that like box and literally redid the Dots logo because I loved Dots. So that was like a proud moment, and there was many others. That I was an iPod. I made that with like foil and like cellophane and paper. It was pretty creative. But anyway, so Halloween comes around, and these girls, they always wanted to be a group costume because that's just what you do with your friends, which is fine if you don't really care that much about Halloween costumes, which I really loved them. So I just kind of went with it, and like whatever they wanted to do, I would be that. And it was fine because in middle school I could express my creativity at the party. But then I got out of middle school and I didn't have that party anymore because that group was only for middle schoolers. And so I would just kind of be what they were, and I was like, this isn't fun because I don't get to be what I want. So we were Halloween shopping one year, and in sophomore year, and they wanted to be the Spice Girls for Halloween, which is totally fine. I don't, you know, it doesn't really bother me, but it doesn't really leave a lot of room for creativity for me personally. But we were shopping, and the leader of the group, who was supposed to be my best friend, don't even know, like, what? We were shopping, and she pulls up this black lingerie dress. She knows that I would never wear that because I don't want to be like inappropriate. And she's like, oh, Catherine, you should wear this. And then everyone starts laughing. They're like, ha ha ha, she would never wear that, ha ha. And it's just like, they were just blatantly making fun of me and the fact that I wouldn't wear something like that. And these are my friends. And that moment I snapped. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this group. I don't want to be friends with them anymore. They make me feel bad about myself all the time. This is such a negative group. There's so much gossiping. There's so much criticism. I'm done with this. So I let them know, I think the next day or something, hey guys, actually, I'm not going to be a Spice Girl for Halloween, and I'm going to do my own thing. And yeah, so they uninvited me from trick-or-treating with them. And one of the girls in the group actually went with me, which was really nice. So we like made our own costumes. We had a great time. But I found out that of course they were like making fun of us, and the leader of the group, I'll never forget, who was again my supposed best friend. She texted me, and when I was babysitting like that weekend, was like, thanks for ruining Halloween. And I was like, oh my gosh, I actually cried. I felt like really sad. But I was proud of myself because I stood up for myself, and that was the first time, and that started like a longer like run of standing up for myself, because I realized it was so much more worth it to be authentic to myself, even if I was afraid to lose my friends. And you know what happened? I had other friends that I wasn't as close to. You know what I did? I reached out to them, and I ended up actually making a new group of friends that was so much nicer. And I remember hanging out with them. I actually almost cried the first time because they were so nice to me, and I was like, is this what it's like to be friends with people that are nice to you? Like, I just couldn't believe that that's what it actually was supposed to feel like. So I ended up making way nicer friends in like my junior, end of sophomore to junior year, and had a great rest of high school that was so much less drama filled and negativity filled, and I was very proud of myself. So that's my story. Hope you enjoy it. And if you're in a negative friend group, I just want to encourage you that you too can stand up for yourself. And I know it's scary, but just take the leap and you will thank yourself in the long run. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye.